Hey guys.
Hi.
You're listening to Not As We Planned, so get ready for
Honest,
raw,
unfiltered,
unhinged story,
where we share our advice, opinions,
and talk about all the shit that people avoid discussing. We want to point out we are not qualified professionals, although I feel like I am one.
and what we say is the advice we would give to our besties. Hi guys, and welcome back to Not As We Plan. We hope you are feeling great. We hope. I don't know what. We hope you are great. How's your week been? Firstly, we went to the Glow Mama Awards on Saturday. We didn't win, but we felt very grateful to be there. So next year, guys, better get voting.
Yeah, 100%. No, it was really nice to be nominated. And another thing that I think that we should point out that we haven't really made a big deal of, which I think is a big deal, is our journal sold out. Our journal sold
In a month.
In a month. We have ordered more, but I feel like we have
It's proud. Yeah, why haven't we?
No, I feel like
It's a big deal. I feel like we've both been so busy recently as well.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like we're stop.
We're gonna make an announcement that it's sold out, but we're gonna make them available for pre-order.
Yeah,
because
We should have them soon.
messaging asking when they're back in stock. So if you're listening to this at this point, they will be probably like normal stock. Like
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. And then my week. Well, it was my boyfriend's birthday, which was really nice. It was, I don't know. I think it was just nice to like spoil someone that actually like appreciated it. I'm not saying that like I'd never been with someone that would appreciate it, but I feel like maybe for the first time I was really making someone feel the way that like they make me feel every day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just refreshing. Other than that, nothing. I'm just loving this fucking weather. I'm making the most
Dreamy.
on. It's sunny, no jacket. I'm here for it. What about you?
I've had just a really lovely weekend with family. It was my niece's birthday. Like we had a party. It was just really wholesome and lovely. And yeah, no, I'm still feeling really good at the moment. Like one thing I did reflect on this week, and I think is becoming really apparent, like through my journaling and therapy and stuff, is I've realised like the thing I love about myself and being in a relationship is actually me. And I think I am the magic in my relationships. And I feel like I'm not trying to like give myself a massive head. That came out kind of wrong. It wasn't quite how it sounded in my head.
Do you know what I just suddenly pictured? Did you ever play Theme Hospital?
With bloaty head. With the massive doctor required to bloaty head clinic. Is it bloaty head? And then they used to pop it.
I know.
Best game ever. I love Throwback. What a game. What a game. They don't make them like that anymore.
Like the handyman. Was like,
Yeah.
it was a great game.
Oh, nostalgia. But yeah, like I was looking back at like the things that made me feel amazing in my relationship, and like things like I was such a good girlfriend. Like I used to sneak notes into his back pocket, like when he went away on holiday. I used to make him scrapbooks of our time together. A lot of the things that used to make me feel amazing was making him feel amazing and special, and I think appreciated in a way he might not have ever been appreciated. And actually what I've realised is I can bring that into whatever relationship I go into. And actually, like I'm not saying he didn't ever do thoughtful things for me. He did. But I want someone to be that much more thoughtful. Like I'd love someone to, he never once left me a note, or things like little things like that. I don't know. I've just realised that the cute little things, but they were me. Yeah, the cute little things were me. Like he'd get here sometimes and I'd have made like a candlelit dinner, or I'd planned us to do a painting evening, or I don't know. I think a lot of the little things that I was like, oh my God, I love this. I'm like, Cully, you were the one that like did that. And yeah, so I'm feeling really positive actually. I'm feeling quite optimistic and excited, and I go away in a couple of weeks, and I feel like when I come back I've got a few personal things going on. Can't wait. But once that's done, I feel like when I enter into May, I feel like that is like, I don't know, I think it's a really lovely time. Like summer's just beginning. I think I might, in May at some point, don't know whether it'll be at the end or the start, I might start putting myself back out there again and meeting people and just, because I am feeling really confident in myself. Do you know what? It's like the most sure and confident I felt in myself in a long time. Like I feel like, I don't know how I've done it, but I feel like my self-worth is like up here right now. Like I think again, things like this, like being able to reflect back and seeing the things that I thought were incredible in that relationship, a lot of them were me. It's like, Carly, like, look how amazing you are. Like, I don't know, it's just being kind to yourself and realising, I don't know, I'm just feeling, I think it's the sun as well. Like, it's making me feel like summer, like, I'm going to go on dates. I might fall in love this summer. Like, how exciting is that? So, yeah, I'm feeling optimistic and positive. So, do you want to start with
Yeah, let's do it.
Carly?
Okay. This one is called A Roller Coaster Ride.
Buckle in.
Hi, Tash and Carly. As many others have said, I firstly want to thank you for your podcast. I found you at a time when I needed your advice and company like never before. I'm sharing my story with you as I'm struggling with the outcome. It's a long and rocky one, so you may want to sit down. We are.
I got my coffee.
In the wrong mug. Still, I guess
I needed a big one. I made it.
It's still on trend, I guess.
It's on trend. Yeah.
I'm 31 and I've made some ridiculous decisions in my life. Hello, ADHD and childhood trauma. But this one sits on top. I met my ex via Facebook dating back in... what's that?
I don't know.
Facebook dating? Make a note.
No, thanks. I feel like Facebook's for old people.
Yeah, I'm old. She's 31.
Oh, yeah. No. I'm not so sure I'm going to go online.
Fair.
I don't know.
And we fell madly in love instantly. We went on holiday together the week after we met.
Wow.
And discussed life YOLO. All of which we were on the same boat. We had the most amazing experience together and we had so much fun. He treated me the way I wanted and needed, and he made me feel incredible. We had multiple lengthy conversations about having a baby, and that if things didn't work out between us, we would be happy co-parenting with one another. I think that's really weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like, that is never a conversation that you're going to have with someone before you've even organised having the baby. It's like, do you know what? But if we don't work, I've got her there, co-parenter. No. Red flag.
Why are you even thinking about that?
I had polycystic ovaries and I wasn't sure if and how long it would take to get pregnant. So we started straight away. Silly, I know. Anyway, things started going downhill quite quickly. I wonder what the time scale is here from meeting to trying for a baby, because it sounds
It's a big commitment with a human. Yeah.
gaslighting, emotional abuse, coercive language, constantly dismissing my feelings and needs and blaming me for his behaviour. These are all the things I've been through, so I knew the signs straight away, although this didn't make it easy to leave when I should have. I spent many a day or night crying and sometimes even vomiting due to crying so much and the anxiety that he had caused me. I'll add that his best friend was someone he dated and slept with previously to me. They did everything together. Football days together, holidays together.
Wait, girl best friend?
It must be.
Nah. I'm never ever dating anyone who's got a girl best friend. Let me make that very clear.
Yeah, same.
No.
No.
Thank you.
They did everything together. Football days, holidays to Europe, late night drives, constantly texting and days out on his boat, all of which he wouldn't do with me. No. She had a key to his place.
No.
And would come around unannounced and never made conversation with me. Kind of acted as if I weren't there. This is all just
Bizarre.
weird. I caught them sleeping on the sofa together, tucked up under the blanket one evening when we had planned for me to stay the night. And he hadn't mentioned she was over. She had no trousers on due to them being in the tumble dryer.
Are we okay here?
My God. No, sorry. I'm just imagining me like walking into my bed and he's under a blanket snuggled with another woman without
Absolutely not happening.
on the fucking floor. What the fuck?
Sharon, cover your dignity. I'm out of it. I'd be gone.
Just no.
No.
What the actual...
No.
Of course, they didn't see a problem with any of this. The problem was my feelings, not their actions. 3 months in, I couldn't take it anymore and I left. However, a week after leaving, I found out that I was 3 weeks.
Oh, gosh.
I told him straight away and he told me to get drunk to sort the problem out. Oh.
That's disgusting.
That's vile. This broke me. I then received many text messages begging me not to go through with the pregnancy. He tried manipulating me and then told me he was going to commit suicide if I kept the baby. These messages kept coming all hours of the day and night. He then messaged me with a plan of leaving the country and throwing himself off a mountain. I was quite unwell at the start of the pregnancy and couldn't even turn over in bed without vomiting, so I didn't need this. I called his best friend and his dad and told them what he had planned. They had no idea and it shocked them. He then went missing and the police were involved. He turned up at my house at 2 a.m. The police arrived and by 5 a.m. his dad had taken him home. The police told me the other girl had called herself his girlfriend. Surprise, surprise. I mean,
Predictable.
fast forward a couple of months of no contact due to his ongoing abuse. He messaged saying he wanted to be involved and could we meet up. He arranged a fun day, to be honest. We had such a lovely day together. We ended up kissing and he stuck around in the loosest terms for a couple of weeks. This happened a few times through the pregnancy. I finally had enough and set some boundaries, some of them the bare minimum in terms of talking to me respectfully, etc. We had no contact for the rest of my pregnancy due to further abuse. The birth was traumatic. It lasted 5 horrendous days. Everything that could have gone wrong did, and I almost lost my baby due to the cord being wrapped around his neck and him getting stuck in my cervix. The first few days at home were incredibly hard as he was born with teeth.
Oh my God. Did not know that was a thing.
And I couldn't give him pain relief due to him being less than a week old, so we were in A&E multiple times in the first few weeks. I ended up with an infection in my episiotomy scar and was on antibiotics, which made my baby unwell as I was breastfeeding at the time. He has a growing list of allergies, so it hadn't been the easiest of transitions into motherhood. I love him dearly and have never felt a bond like it. He's my absolute world. He's growing well. He's on the 95th percentile. It's the cheekiest, funniest 8-month-old I know. His dad reached out to me a couple of months ago. He called me randomly at 11 p.m. one night. Now I know nothing good would have come from a conversation that late at night. Yes. Who does he think he is calling me at a time when I have a baby to look after as a single mum? I've claimed for CMS and I believe this is the reason he called me, more abuse. So I chose to ignore him completely. Prior to my boy, I was incredibly active. Solo holidays, dancing, climbing walls and mountains, etc. I don't have a relationship with most of my family. And I have my sister, but she has a baby 2 days after me, so I can't really rely on her for help. My best friend changed when my baby arrived and our relationship isn't the same. We hardly speak or see one another. She's going out with her life as we don't exist. Oh, she's going on with her life as if we don't exist anymore. I moved house twice and was faced with homelessness with my 5-month-old. I've recently moved into a little 2-bedroom property that I'm privately renting. So although life has changed dramatically in more ways than I thought possible, I wouldn't change things. Okay, maybe a few things. The reason that I'm emailing is because I'm really struggling with the fact that my baby isn't going to have a father in his life. We're not going to have that unit that I was initially made to believe we would have. I grew up with a half-in, absent, abusive father, so I'll do anything to ensure my baby doesn't grow up in the same environment. I think about his dad a lot. Every day things remind me of what could have been. I feel so torn. There are days I want to message him and try and facilitate a relationship, but I know this isn't possible with the type of person that he is. I know your children's father involved, so you may not be able to relate to this, but I guess I just need some reassurance that I'm doing the right thing for my son by not involving the father. He isn't on the birth certificate due to safety reasons. There's a lot more to this story, but I'll spare you the even longer read. If you've read all of this, then thank you, and I really look forward to hearing your advice.
Can I just say that, sadly, like, some people are actually better off without a person like that in their lives. If someone's going to be unreliable, unpredictable, volatile, your child is going to be far better off with just you. And I genuinely believe you can provide enough love, enough safety, and enough of a life on your own. I mean, look online. There's so many amazing, inspirational women. There's someone I've followed for absolutely years who does it all on her own, completely solo parent. The father has never ever been present. Kelly Spinelli, her name is. She is honestly incredible. Go and follow her because she will give you like, her son is the happiest little boy ever and she does the most incredible job. And sadly, in these situations, we can't control people. This idea that you've got of your family and like the idea that you want to reach out and like maybe facilitate something, the idea you've got in your head is a fantasy. That's not the person he is. You're not going to have that dream family. And I think sometimes it's like we're going through a breakup. We need to accept the reality of our situation. I think the sooner we make peace with that and accept the circumstances for what they are, we can learn to move forwards and learn to adapt our life and change. Like, I genuinely only believe people being involved in your children's life for a good purpose, people who can bring positive experiences, positive environments, they're the only people you need. And I think it's so easy to compare ourselves to what we consider normal. And if our circumstances don't necessarily meet that, but I think your child's going to be just fine with you. And I think maybe it's you who needs to let go to that idea and that fantasy.
I don't know if you'll remember, we once spoke about the fact that there's this kind of like taboo that children can get a bit like fucked up coming from like a divorced family or a single parent family or you know, not that traditional.
Yeah.
I really feel like the circumstances of how the parents go about the breakup or how they are in front of the child or whether they use the children for like ammo or like they manipulate the children to kind of like hate on the mum or even the other way and hate on the dad. Or I think those situations are what mess up children. I don't think that there is some like rule of thumb that if you come from a family with just one child, you're going to have childhood trauma, you're going to have issues. It's actually the things that you're protecting your son from right now by not allowing his dad in his life that I think are going to make him a better person, a better child. You're showing him about boundaries. You're showing him that you don't just accept someone into your life because he was sperm. Do you know, like, I just feel like you need to actually realize that what you're doing and raising him on your own, he's going to look back one day and be like, my mom was amazing. Like, she was so strong. Like, she didn't take shit. She didn't, back down. She held her standards. She held her boundaries all for me. And I feel like having a parent and being able to look back and be proud of how they brought you up is so much better for them than watching you be treated badly and accepting bad behaviour, toxic behaviour, abusive behaviour. So I really, really hope that you listening to what we're saying is going to make you think, do you know what? I'm fucking unreal what I'm doing. I'm badass. Like, I can do this on my own. I don't need a man to make our family feel whole and special.
Feel like a family, like you are a family.
Well, and look, one day, maybe once you've done the work, because the fact that you're explaining what your dad was like, and then it sounds like you've sort of found a replica of that in the father of your child, I feel like maybe it's time to do some work on yourself, some inner healing. You could find a perfect partner who will take on your son like their own. You can have that dream family life that you hope to have one day with a different person. Like, unfortunately, you've had a baby with someone that isn't good for you. That doesn't mean that you're not going to find a man that's actually happy to bring him up in the right way. So yeah, thank you for emailing in.
Hi girls, firstly I want to say thank you so much. I'm so glad I found you. I don't feel as half as alone. None of my friends are separated and no one truly gets how hard it is doing parenting alone. I broke up from my ex for 20 years in September 2023. Well, that was when I found out the first of many lies. He moved out, but it was so hard, so I ended up getting him to come back simply so I wasn't struggling and alone with the kids. Then in February 2024, I found out the most painful lie ever imaginable.
Oh, God.
I said he needed to leave, but let's do it amicably for the sake of our 2 and 5-year-old boys. And he didn't. It was torture. Is she going to tell us what the thing?
Oh my God, is she not telling us?
I don't know. Pure hell for 18 months. He emotionally abused me. If he did see the boys, he would be so angry. He would cause such chaos that I then had to pick up the pieces of the boys' pain. And then he didn't see the boys for about 6 weeks. The entire thing was unbearable, doing it alone whilst dealing with his painful lies. The end of our family, looking after the boys, so let alone, and then his emotional abuse. I really, really wasn't coping, and I then forced my ex to see them. So since last October, he has been having them on a Wednesday after school, but has to bring them back to my house to put them to bed as he is living with his mum. I'm then on a curfew of being home at 8:30 p.m. I hate it all, but all I want is the boys to be okay and see their dad. I have tried to get him to have them at the weekend, but he refuses, basically to stop me from having a life and meeting someone new.
Wow.
I've done a lot of therapy. I started therapy in February 2023. So when we actually broke up, I really had processed a lot of it. But it's been the emotional abuse that has torn me apart these last 12 to 18 months. The vile abusive words, the stalking and texting did stop about 4 or 5 months ago. He does occasionally say stuff to me when he thinks I'm with my new boyfriend,
New boyfriend.
which is the once a month the boys stay at my mum's. The one and only night I get off, he thinks.
Oh.
On top of all of this, it's been hard to comprehend, as this man I knew for 20 years never treated me badly, not once. It all started after our second child. He started drinking and just turned horrible. From therapy, I do understand where it all comes from, childhood, like everything, but it's no excuse. Anyway, I have now started dating. I didn't do anything for 8 months as I was simply surviving, but I think I went about it the wrong way. Basically, drunken flings, which just got confusing, even though that is all I thought I wanted. Now I realise I want something more, and I'm so confused with how to date again. Before my ex, I was good at dating, never let a man mess me around, but now at 44 with a 3 and 6 year old, it's such a head fuck. I own my own house and paid the mortgage off years ago.
Wow, good for you, babe.
I have my own business, but that has definitely suffered from all of this, which I'm upset about. But my friends all tell me I'll get it back when I have the headspace, etc. But the dating. I see on Instagram about things like how to text a guy and the 4 texts to send to them to get them to be yours, etc.
What's that?
Do you believe in this? I've seen this kind of thing.
I wish she
Do I need to date more strategically? It's so exhausting. I hope all of this makes sense. Thanks for taking the time to read it.
I'm going to say something that I don't know if you're going to want to hear, but I almost feel like, you know how you said you're a bit upset that your business has sort of like been affected from what you've been through, and your friends are like, when you're in the right headspace, you'll get it back. I would personally be concentrating more on that first than dating. I just feel like you want to be the best version of yourself and have done enough and poured into yourself before you're able to pour into a relationship. I would personally be focusing more on that, and then I think that the dating will probably become more natural and easier. I don't believe in like there should be like a strategic way of dating. It's not a
Game.
Yeah, it's not a game.
Business
it's not,
transaction.
No, it should come naturally, and like you bond with someone, and there's chemistry.
I think it means you're not in the right energy yet.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay. And I think maybe you're putting pressure on yourself, like feeling like, oh, but I've done therapy, I've done this. Like, I don't want to be alone. And I think it's really important to like be in that headspace. Like, I kind of relate to this in a way. Like, I have completely thrown myself into work the last few months, and I felt like that was perhaps something I didn't always have the energy for, like previously in a relationship. And I don't know, like, I feel like I kind of lost my way a little bit in terms of, you know, I was with someone who wasn't really into like the same things as me in terms of like health and fitness. And I found my way back to those things. And I think where I'm immersing myself in things that genuinely like set my soul on fire, when I do come to date, I'm not going to be looking online to find out like what messages I should be saying to someone to get them to like me. Like, at the end of the day, they're going to like me because I'm me. And I don't think there's anything we should be saying to anyone. I think a lot of it is about an exchange of energy. That's not the right person. Maybe you're perhaps not quite in the right headspace, and maybe you need to be, I don't know, doing something to get yourself in a more positive energy. There is a really good, interesting episode. It's the Mel Robbins podcast. She was talking to a dating expert who actually works for Hinge, and it was all about like they were obviously like analysing all the analytics and stuff from what they've seen with like their matches and things. And it's a really interesting listen for anyone who's perhaps scared of the dating scene. And it is a really scary concept. I think it's really hard as well. I think we hear a lot of horror stories, but actually I also know a lot of people who have met on dating apps. Like, you met your boyfriend on a dating app. I met my ex-boyfriend on a dating app who, you know, as much as I'm healing from that breakup now, like, he was a really lovely, good person who gave me a really positive experience in a relationship. And I don't think there should be any message you have to send to get someone to message you back.
I'm just a bit intrigued. If I were with you, sitting with you, I'd really like you to answer the question of like, why do you want to date? Is it to fill a void of you feeling lonely, or are you genuinely ready? Do you feel like you're at that place where you're like, do you know what? Like, I'm happy in myself. Now I just want to meet someone that can like elevate that even more rather than bring me the happiness that I feel like I'm lacking. I would personally be putting your energy into things whilst you've got that time to do you. If you're disappointed or upset that your business isn't where it was because of what you've been through, get it there before you start putting your energy into another person.
Yeah, because then you're not going to be able to put that energy into your business. You're going to be putting it into someone else.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like, don't date. I'm just saying, to me, from the email I've read, I don't think you sound quite ready, or maybe you're not going to be doing it for the right reasons. And I feel like with that, you attract the wrong type of person, or not necessarily the wrong person, but just not the right person. By all means, I'm so happy for you to email back and tell us otherwise. But I feel like it would be a really good way for you to use your time right now is to do a bit more on yourself. And if that's just work related, that is what I would be doing. And then when you're ready, I think you'll realise like there is no do's of what you must do in order to match with someone. Like Carly said, like, you be you, like, you'll radiate what you put out there. And like, if someone wants you, like, you don't need to play games. You don't need to agree with that, even if you don't think it. You don't need to pretend that you like that just to make them like you. Like, this is me, take it or goodbye.
Yeah, and if they're not like texting you back, they're not emotionally available. You don't want that drama in your life.
Amen. Okay, so I guess on the same sort of path, help dating after divorce.
Okay.
Hello again. I wrote to you last year when I was really struggling to move on from my ex-husband of 2 years after separation. You read out my story saying, to say hearing it back was a slap in the face I needed as an understatement. So thank you. I very much needed that wake-up call. I wish I remember what it was about, but I'm glad it helped. 6 months later, I decided I was ready to start dating. I knew what I wanted. I made it very clear on my profile that I wanted someone to spend my child-free time with, to have adventures and enjoy life. I'm not looking for an immediate, intense relationship where we are living in each other's pockets. I went on Hinge and I ended up chatting to a guy. We went on a date and hit it off immediately. He literally ticked every box for me. Into meditation, yoga, keeping fit, mentally and physically. Sounds like someone for you.
It's what I'm into.
Very much into very much into constantly working on himself. We simply got on so well. We had so much in common. And then in the bedroom was just another level. Let's just say we were very compatible.
Love that.
The only issue there was that the distance between us.
It's not my ex-boyfriend. He doesn't do any of those things, so but I can't recommend distance.
About an hour and a half, but we both discussed this and said neither of us were looking for anything too serious just yet. But in the future, this could be worked around by either of us. We have been dating for the last 3 months and it has been brilliant. The only thing for me was on the last 3 dates, he kept turning up very late, over an hour on the last one. It was very triggering for me as I felt like I was being stood up and started having thoughts that he was just not into me. I'm sorry, an hour late is, I think, vile.
Do you know what? One thing I really don't like is lateness. I feel like it's a disrespect of your time.
I feel bad because I am late quite a lot of the time.
No, but there's late and then there's...
I'm just a bit scatty.
It's different.
Like, one thing that I think I really appreciate about my boyfriend is he, like, rather than making me feel like I'm doing it on purpose or like I'm disrespectful, he just sort of like, I can't explain that he'll come and like be like, right, come on. Like he'll almost like help me hold myself accountable for doing things on time because he knows what I'm like, rather than like, oh,
I think it's because I'm early for life.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's like when it's consistent, it's like, it's obviously a problem for you, like work on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it's a disrespect of my time.
I mean, an hour late on a day is just, that's just beyond.
That would piss me off.
I wouldn't have waited.
No, nor would I.
Third time it happened, and I explained this to him and added something I also would like to receive: good morning, good night messages. My love language is words of affirmation, and these things mean a lot to me. Again, I explained I'm not asking for more time commitment, just a bit more consistency in my time to be respected. He came back to say that he understands, but that's just who he is and he can't change that. He explains how much he likes me and I am everything he wants in a woman, but he can't give me what I need because that wouldn't be true to who he is. Nah. If someone is not capable,
they're not hearing you.
A morning,
they're not hearing you.
Or good night message.
No,
that's weird.
It takes 20 seconds.
But why wouldn't?
And if they know that's the thing is,
why wouldn't you want to do it if that's going to make the person that you're with happy
and feel safe?
And also, the fact that he's saying this is who I am.
Not working on himself. Self-development.
You're not looking to make changes.
Well, you're not working on yourself either. That's not...
Am I asking for too much?
No.
We had a couple of things planned over the next couple of months. There is a trip away that I had got for his birthday and can't get my money back for, and a music event that we
go on your own.
He said he would still like to do those things with me. I've said I'm not comfortable making memories with someone who doesn't see a future with me, but now I'm questioning myself. Am I being too needy? No. Should I have just kept my mouth shut and enjoyed the simple times with him and not expected more? I'm feeling very confused about all of this and I'm gutted because I do really like him. Thank you for everything you do, guys. Hearing your journeys really inspires and helps me. This is the problem when women think that they can be in a relationship and not fall deeper and then start picturing their life with that person.
And that distance will be a problem at some point. I don't know if you've got kids or not, but trust me, from someone who was with someone who lived 100 miles away.
Kids have been mentioned.
2 hours away. No, she did. She said she wanted to meet someone in her kid-free time.
Fine. Yeah, you're right.
It does get complicated. And look, I was in a situation where we were like, we'd always work through it. Like, it's fine. Like, at the start of our relationship, we were talking about both moving to the middle, and then it was going to be me who had to move. And trust me, it will become an issue.
I've read the distance actually seems completely irrelevant because the fact that he is not willing to make certain changes that are so small to make you feel more comfortable and content and feel a bit more safe, for me, that's a massive red flag.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I feel
that's only going to get worse if he's not listening to you now, and that's 3 months into the relationship.
Something so simple.
Yeah.
Imagine what's going to happen when it's a big challenge that does take quite a bit of work.
But also, like, him not doing that as well, and you've got the distance. It's not like you're going to be seeing him all the time. That is going to make, like, that. Trust me, like, I know what it's like. Those morning and evening texts are those little moments that you need. And if he's not listening, let me tell you now, do not ever ignore the person that they are showing you that they are. The fact that he's basically saying, you're saying to him, these are my needs. I'd really appreciate it if you could like make some adjustments to make me feel safe. And he's basically saying to you, I can hear you. I am not going to even try and do that. That for me screams absolute volumes about the kind of person this man is. And if I was you, personally, I would end it. If you haven't given him the trip, I would go away on that trip on your own, take a friend, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Don't hold on to things just because you've got things booked. He's not your person.
Also, I feel like you saying things like you're questioning whether you're being too needy and whether you should have just kept your mouth shut. Like, never keep your mouth shut about anything, however little or small it seems. Like, if that is something that you want to voice and you feel like you're missing something or you want some reassurance, that is actually such a dangerous step in a relationship where you feel like you are better off keeping your mouth shut and not sharing how you feel because you don't think that the response that they're going to give you is going to be good. That is such a red flag in a relationship. And I've actually spoken about that before, when you're already preempting how they're going to react before you even do it so you don't bother doing it. That is when you become a quieter person, a lesser version of yourself. Do not let anyone make you feel like you cannot speak up for yourself and ask for something that is actually so valid.
As well, it's like, don't neglect your own needs.
Yeah,
like, we can't help what the things we need are. And if someone's not meeting them, there's no shaming you having like higher standards. And yeah,
I think it's more being very aware that what you're asking for is so minimal and really bare minimum. Imagine when you're going to come into a situation where it's actually still just as valid, but a much bigger thing. I would get rid, and like Carly said, go on that trip on your own or with a friend. I want an update. I want you to get rid of him because what he showed you at the beginning,
No.
he ain't doing the work.
Okay, confession of the week. Hey girls, this was a long time ago as I'm now remarried to a fab man. My first husband lived in the family home whilst we were separated for about 5 months. I continued to do his washing as I did the kids too, and it was easier to just continue. What he didn't know in the whole 5 months
What?
is that I didn't wash his underwear. I used to just put it back in the drawers.
That is hilarious.
He never noticed, and once he left, he continued to treat me awfully. So I always had that little reminder that made me smile. Oh, shit, pan.
Notice.
That's grim.
That is so disgusting.
Oh, it must have been like a build-up of like skid marks. Go to his new bird with his dirty underwear. She must be like, what's that stench?
Oh, that is rank. It's giving cheese balls.
Oh, it's actually making me feel slightly unwell. Yeah, the microphone doesn't think.
The microphone has died. Let's finish with a little affirmation of the week. Do you know what? We're going to keep it simple. I think it is never dull your sparkle. Keep glowing, girls, because...
No. Yeah, hold your head high.
Amen.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.